Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Christina and this is Creations by Christy. So, welcome back. If you're new here, this is going to be a part of my kind of Pinterest made me make it series. And with that, the video before this, if you'd like to go back and check it out, we made the first part of this series and we made a really awesome doily. So that's in the previous video if you'd like to see it. And so with that being said, we're going to go ahead and pick what we're going to be tackling in this one. I'm excited to see how this goes. I'm excited because we are mixing the sewing in with crochet as well, so it's not going to be all just one thing. And we have had a lot of time around here of just being in the house. We had another snow day, and even with work being crazy, had a lot of inside the walls time. So need things to, keep our mind off of it. So let's go ahead and let's see what we're going to be making. All right, so a good old zipper bag. I mean, who can't use those? Like always, I will make sure I put the pattern below. So if you're interested in making this as well, it'll be down there. Most of my stuff should be free patterns too, so that's always great. And it looks like this one is as well. So let's go ahead, let's get some fabric picked and get going with our project. All right, so it is asking for fat quarters, which is great. Fat quarters are a really great inexpensive fabric. A lot of the times you can find them for as low as like $1 a piece. At the Great Joann's, they always went on sale, but of course we know that that's not around anymore. Now even a lot of Walmarts will carry things like fat quarters. So let's see. This is my cube that has those types of things and a lot of like larger remnant. So we need 2 fat quarters to make this project, and preferably ones that have not been used yet, just because that can make it easier when it comes down to sizing and things. Do you have some licensed fat quarters? If we wanted to make, something cute. I do have, well, that's 1 yard. I have a lot of licensed fat quarters. I used to always get them on clearance at places like Walmart. A lot of the time I would find them on clearance there. Let me see what is in my fat quarter stack back here. Okay, that's just the remnant. We got some dogs. Those would be so cute. Okay, we might do that one. Some cute little woodland creatures. Things like that. You know what? We have 2 different dog ones. We have this quarter, which is like a bunch of just different breeds of dogs, and it looks like some flowers and stuff. And then we have this fat quarter too. What if we use these and make maybe like a treat bag, or like an easy little like travel bag for when you're traveling with your dog to put all their stuff in? I think it's a great idea. I think we're going to use these. Hey everybody, a little voiceover action here. If you can't tell, I went ahead and changed those fabrics from the dog fabric to these. What ended up happening is when I cut the dog fabric, I ended up cutting that the one with the heads on it incorrectly. So I ended up making that bag, but I didn't want to use it for the video. So I went ahead and picked 2 new ones. This is just me squaring it off so that we have a little bit cleaner of an edge since these aren't fat quarters. So there we go. I'm just talking you through everything. See, there's that bag. You know, like I said, it ended up looking cute. It just, I wasn't happy with the finished project. So here we go. Getting everything else squared up and all of that. Another thing is the original pattern from Polka Dot Chair is making an 8x10 bag. I end up making a 9x10. I just like it a little bit bigger, and I had that ability with having a larger piece of fabric. And as you'll also see, you know, I made it 9x10, and then I still have a ton of interfaced fabric left that I could honestly cut down and make a whole nother bag out of. And then this is the zipper I found. Once again, you know, we've talked about, we want to make sure that we're using what we got. I just had this white zipper laying around, so I used that. You know, it doesn't matter at the end of the day if it matches my fabric. White technically matches it better than what I could have found, so I'm good with it. And then here you'll see I did what's called a gusset cut. So a gusset cut is how we make it a flat bottom bag. I did about 1.5 inches. I think the original pattern calls for about 1 inch, but since I made my bag a little bit bigger, I thought it best to make my gusset cut a little bit bigger as well. And so yeah, so now I'm just trying to kind of read over the pattern, make sure I lay it out correctly, flatten out my zipper a little bit easier so I can line them up okay and line them up easier, and starting to get everything pinned together so you can get it sewn up. Yeah, I've really loved following this pattern from Polka Dot Chair. I am, you know, of course, I'm going to make sure I put it below like I do with all my other videos. But this one was great. She also has a video tutorial on her website that shows you how to make this, the gusseted bottom bag, or just a regular zipper pouch. And really, they are both truly great. So I really appreciated that. I had to check out her video at least once or twice while I was making this just to make sure I lined up everything correctly. But they are great. All right, we're going to be creating those gusseted corners now. So as you can see, I am just folding and lining up each of my corners as best as I can. It can be a little bit finicky at times, but it is good to take that extra second to get them folded up so that you can sew them and it squares off those edges. Now I'm just cleaning up those edges. Before I do the whole flipping of this bag, it's just a little bit easier to do, and it helps keep the corners clean. Folding the bag can be a little tricky. It does have you leave that zipper open like 3/4 of the way through the pattern, so that does help with getting it all flipped into place. As you can see, I'm kind of folding it and it looks like it's wrong way, but then once you continue to fold it, it will flip it to the right way. So it takes just a minute, and then you have to kind of figure out all of your edges and stuff. Another thing that we will do here in just a minute is, as you can see, I'm going to go ahead and get that inside seam finished off. Once I've squared off those edges, which is what I'm doing right here, I'm going to go ahead and fold in and just I'm doing a straight stitch on that inside seam because no one's really going to see it, just to finish it off. And yeah, we're almost there. Almost done with the bag. So, there we go, right? Here's our pouch. Technically my second pouch. I didn't mess up on this one, so that makes it better. The zipper works great. The only other thing I could have done, is I could have cut that extra, like the zipper off on the end. As you know, we're using what we got. So, I forgot. It's not a big deal. You can't even really tell it's there in the lining. This bag turned out great. I love the size of it. And, it stands great and everything. I think I'm actually going to give this one to my daughter because I know she's been wanting a new bag. So, as always, thank you so much for joining me today. Like and subscribe if you'd like to keep going with the Pinterest series. And thanks again for being here, guys. I hope to see you next time. Bye.